The objective for Section 7 is to describe the types of intermodal tanks and their associated hazards. An intermodal container is a freight container that is used interchangeably in multiple modes of transport such as rail, highway, and ships. The various types of intermodal containers can be divided into the following two main categories. The first is freight containers, which transports a wide range of products from foodstuffs to dry goods. They come in a variety of types and sizes, most commonly in 20, 40, 45, 48, and 53-foot lengths. Several common types of freight containers are dry van intermodal containers, sometimes called box containers, refrigerated intermodal containers, also called reefers, open top intermodal containers, and flat intermodal containers. The second is tank containers, also called intermodal tanks. Three general classifications of intermodal tank containers are pressure intermodal tanks, specialized intermodal tanks such as cryogenic intermodal tanks and tube modules, and low pressure intermodal tanks, also called non-pressure intermodal tanks. Some intermodal freight containers may contain hazardous materials. Other intermodal freight containers may contain mixed loads that include both hazardous and non-hazardous materials. With many freight containers, you will not be able to determine by the shape of the container alone whether it contains a hazardous material. Instead, responders should use intermodal container markings or shipping papers to identify the contents of these containers. Shipping papers may not be accurate, and hazardous materials may be shipped illegally in intermodal containers without proper identification. Intermodal tank containers generally have a cylinder enclosed in both ends. First responders may also see tube modules, cryogenic tanks, compartmentalized tanks, or other shapes. The tank container is placed in frames to protect it and to allow stacking, lifting, and securing. The capacities of these containers ordinarily do not exceed 6,340 gallons. As a precaution, intermodal freight containers can contain almost anything. A pressure intermodal tank container is less common in transport. DOT-TC classifies this tank as a Spec 51. Internationally, it is known as an IMO Type 5 tank container. This type of container is designed for a maximum allowed working pressure of 100 to 500 psi and usually transports liquefied gases under pressure. Pressure intermodal tanks may be damaged during transport, unloading, and loading. Leaks frequently involve the fittings with the release of rapidly expanding gases or vapors. Pressure intermodal tanks exposed to heat and/or flame may levy. Low pressure intermodal tank is the most common intermodal tank used in transportation. Even though they are often called non-pressure intermodal tanks, these tanks may have pressure as high as 100 psi. They are also called intermodal portable tanks or IM portable tanks. The two common groups of low pressure and non-pressure intermodal tank containers are IM 101 portable tanks. Internationally, these are called International Maritime Organization or IMO Type 1 tank container. They are built to withstand maximum allowed working pressures of 25 to 25.4 to 100 psi. They transport both hazardous and non-hazardous materials. The second is IM 102 portable containers. Internationally, these are called IM Type 2 tank containers. They are designed to handle maximum allowed working pressures of 14.5 to 25.4 pounds per square inch. These containers are gradually being removed from service. They transport materials such as alcohols, pesticides, resins, industrial solvents, and flammables with flash points between 32 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Most commonly, they transport non-regulated materials, those not typically covered by regulations, such as food commodities. Low-pressure intermodal tanks may be damaged during transport, loading, and unloading, including damage to fittings and container walls. Releases are commonly in the form of spilled liquids, often flammable or combustible. There are several types of specialized intermodal tank containers. Cryogenic type containers are built to IMO Type 7 specifications. The tube model transport gases in high pressure cylinders with a maximum allowed working pressure of 2,400 to 5,000 psi. Cryogenic liquid tank containers carry refrigerated liquid gases, argon, oxygen, and helium. Dry bulk intermodal containers carry materials such as fertilizer, cement, and plastic pellets. In addition to required placards, identification markings on intermodal tanks and containers include reporting marks. Reporting marks are generally found on the tank or container on the right-hand side as you face it from either the sides or the ends. As the tank car reporting marks, you can use this information in conjunction with shipping papers or computer data to identify and verify the contents of the tank or container. Other markings on intermodal containers can also provide specification information. Intermodal containers carry hazard materials, must have proper shipping names stenciled on two sides. As a precaution, read the intermodal container markings and understand all of the information provided. The review question for this section is to list the type of intermodal tanks and the hazards that they may present to first responders. You can locate the answer to this question on pages 264 through 271 of the manual.